Hey, welcome to Engineer Your Body. This video is for the women out there. The videos I've already made, my long one called NASA Engineer Solves Fitness, the short and the long version, like 95% of that still applies to the women. So this video is only explaining the differences between the women workout and the men workout. So first you need to go watch one of those videos, either the long or short one, and then come back and watch this video. And in this video, I'm just gonna explain the differences, right? What's different for the women. And if you want more context, you can read Mike Mathews' book for the women, which is Thinner, Leaner, Stronger. So you can check that out, and that has way more info. And again, I'm summarizing some of the stuff that's in here and just some of the stuff that I learned through my workouts that still apply to women. And just know that while following these formulas, I was able to turn my body from looking like this to looking more like this.
And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
It doesn't mean that if you follow these, you're gonna look like a man or something like that, okay? It applies to women too, this information, and there's a little bit of adjustment, but our body types are just different enough that you follow this program, you're just gonna look really good for a woman, and you're not gonna look like a man, okay? So please don't be scared of that. So let's get started. Okay, so first know that everything with the flexible dieting is the same. So you're gonna still do all your counting calories and macros, everything's still gonna apply. In this example, I've updated what a BMR would be for a female, but you still just Google a BMR calculator, find one you like, put in your info, and you can find your BMR. And as far as cutting or bulking, it's still the same amount of calories. And for women, when you cut, you're probably going to get down to about 15% body fat. That's when you'll see like shredded six pack if you've been working out properly. And again, the six pack's mostly just because of diet. And so that's what you'll look like, shredded six packs, like 15% body fat. And then when you bulk, you probably want to stop around 25%. That's where you might still see your upper two abs, but it might be disappeared completely. And that's when you want to start cutting again. So progressive overload is still the key mechanism for building muscle. The only difference for women is that you probably want to work in a higher rep range. So I would recommend the 6 to 8 rep range, and that's still going to feel pretty heavy probably compared to what you're used to. But give it a try, and you're not going to get big and bulky, I promise. That's just what builds muscle the best, is the heavier weights. And you could do probably 8 to 10. So either one of those is probably okay. You could go higher if you want, but I would recommend staying 6 to 8 or 8 to 10. And then for some of the accessory workouts, like shoulder raisers is a typical example, those you could go a little bit higher reps because it's kind of hard to put like a lot of weight on those. Okay, so that also means you're resting 3 minutes between your sets. So assuming you're doing like this 6 to 8 or 8 to 10, just rest 3 minutes. I talked about that on the men's video about some of the challenges with that. So go watch that if you need to, but rest 3 minutes. It's gonna feel weird, but just get used to that. Okay, and the rest is the same. As soon as you hit the upper end of your rep range, you're gonna progress in weight. So if you're working in the 6 to 8 rep range, as soon as you hit 8 reps, let's say you're benching 100 pounds, you get 8 reps, put 5 pounds on each side of the bar, and now you're gonna bench 110 and probably get 6. And you do that again until you hit 8, and then you bench 120. And with bench, don't worry, you're not gonna lose your feminine qualities by adding a little bit of muscle to your chest. So don't be scared of the chest exercises, okay? And the rest is the same. You still gotta track your progress. Don't go to muscle failure, and watch my other video on what I think about spotters. I still recommend the same barbell exercises that I recommend for the men, okay? The bench press, the deadlift, the overhead press, and the squat. So try and work those in, but like I said, I don't want that to hold you back. If you're just using machines, use the machines and just make sure you're doing double progression. All right, and now I'll get into more specific programming for the women. Okay, I'll do the same that I did for the men, which is a 3-day option or a 5-day option. Now for the women, I think most of you would focus more on your lower body. So these routines have more lower body volume than the men do. So in the men, I have like a couple days of chest, and in here you'll probably have more legs and less chest. So it kind of doubles up the leg exercises or any kind of lower body stuff you want to do, glutes, whatever. And again, I'm keeping this very generic in case you don't have a barbell. I'm just giving you muscle groups to work on each day. And based on what muscles you want to work on more, you could kind of adjust the volume that you're doing for each of those exercises. So if I say 2 or 3 exercises for your back, but you like how your back looks and you don't like how your triceps look, then only do 2 for your back and do more for your triceps, okay? So these are just general guidelines on what to work on that day, and you can adjust how many sets or different exercises you're doing for those muscle groups on that day. So let's start with the 3-day routine. On the first day, you're gonna do back and biceps, and then basically 2 leg exercises of your choice, trying to get 1 quad, 1 hamstring in there. And then on day 2, you're gonna be doing chest. So this is like a push day. You're gonna do your chest, your shoulders, and your triceps. And then on day 3, again, we're trying to get more legs in there. So day 3 is like an all legs day. And so you're gonna do a couple quad, couple hamstring, and calf exercises. And like I said, for the men, the 3 days is usually because that's all you can work out in a 7-day period. If you can work out more, don't do 2 3-day routines in a 7-day span. You should just be doing a 5-day routine in that 7-day span instead. So the 3 days because you can only do 3 days during that week. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or maybe you have to crunch it in on the weekend and do like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday workout, and then you got to just work the rest of the week and then come back to it on Friday. So that's how you'd work that in, work out your days off within the 7-day period. And also, like I mentioned, for the men, your abs and your calves, and you probably don't want to work on forearms, but abs and calves you can work in on multiple days. I don't explicitly write them into the program. So you can do abs on multiple days, but again, abs is a function of diet, okay? Once you've been working out for a couple months, if you cut down that about 15% body fat, you're gonna see abs. They're not gonna show up if you have too much body fat. Okay, so you work them in as needed. Like I mentioned with the men, that if it might help your core to do some of these exercises, in your first month or 2, doing abs is probably appropriate if you haven't been working out at all. Once you've been working out, especially if you're doing barbell like deadlifts and all these free weights, you really don't need extra accessory work on your abs. Okay, now let's jump to the 5-day routine. On day 1, again, so you're doing legs twice a week in this routine. So day 1 is going to be legs. So quads, hamstring, calf, however much lower body you want to do, really, whatever exercises you like. Day 2 is the push day, so it's the chest, shoulders, and triceps. Day 3 is like a pull day with a little bit of legs. So you're going to do your back, your biceps, and then probably half the leg exercises you would do on like a leg day. And then day 4 is another push day. So you're gonna do chest, shoulders, and triceps. And then day 5 is your leg day again. So you could do the same thing you did day 1, or you could switch it up and have different exercises for day 5. And again, if you wanna work more on your pull stuff than your push stuff, so you want more back work, you could switch it up to where day 2 and day 4 are pull days, and then day 3 is a push day with legs. So that's an alternate way. And after your deload week, you could also swap it out that way. So you're kind of alternating 2 push days a week, for a couple months, and now you switch it to 2 pull days a week for a couple months. So that's why I keep it generic. As you do this, you'll learn what you want to focus more on. And then you're gonna be resting 2 of the days. I like doing the back-to-back, basically Monday through Friday workout and rest on the weekends. If you can't do that, you definitely wanna work at least 1 day in between your 5th day and your 1st day, because they're both leg days, so you need at least a day break between those 2. Okay, and deload's exactly the same. So if you need to know about the deload, just watch what I said in the men's video. And your critical formulas are exactly the same. But let's walk through it because my channel is Engineer Your Body, because I'm a NASA engineer. If you watch my other videos, you'll see that. And I use these formulas to just simplify all of the fitness content. So these are the formulas to follow, whether you're a man or a woman. 3,500 calories is a pound of body weight. When you're losing weight, or when you're cutting, you're gonna wanna burn 20% more calories than you've eaten. And if you're trying to lean bulk and gain muscle, then you're gonna wanna eat 10% more calories than you burn, 1.1 times calories burned. Your minimum daily protein is 1 gram per pound of body weight. One set of X reps equals you adding 5 to 10 pounds to the exercise. And X in this case is the upper end of the rep range. So if you're working 6 to 8, then it's X equals 8. If you're working 8 to 10, X equals 10. Between 12 and 18, that's the number of sets for each muscle group per week. Now, you might do a little bit more than 18 on legs, specific muscles on legs, but that's roughly, you want to get at least 12 for each muscle group. That's why the 3 days is really hard to get those in. And you know, doing more than 18 may not really give you benefit, especially if you're not eating enough or sleeping enough. And then speaking of that, you need to be sleeping at least 8 hours. So focus on that. So that's what's different between the men and the women workouts, okay, and fitness information. So hopefully that helps you reach your fitness goals and engineer your body.